Sunshine glowing on a turquoise sea. I'm swaying just for you and me. Island rhythm never leaves a trace, but it's tattooed on my soul's embrace. White sand stretch where the heart runs free. After echoes on the island breeze. Steel drums playing on the moonlit trees. Moving easy, living out in fantasy. Antigua's calling so wild and free. Barbuda whispers, be here with me. Feel the vibe on the canopy. In this paradise you wanna be.
At the heart of the Caribbean, cushioned by white sandy shores and surrounded by pure crystalline waters, a secret paradise awaits you. Join us on a journey through this enchanting paradise. A twin island jewel where world-class hospitality comes with boundless natural beauty. Discover the Caribbean's best hidden treasure. Dive in and discover Antigua and Barbuda. Enjoy the spectacular landscape as it unfolds before you from high above the warm Caribbean Sea. Gentle rolling limestone hills covered with lush acacias and mahogany lead down to coves and lagoons and onto 365 beautiful beaches. A different beach for every day of the year. Barbuda is an eco-lover's paradise where long, pink and sandy white beaches are protected by impressive barrier reefs, keeping you as secluded and untouched as the island's beauty. Just as Antigua and Barbuda's beauty will capture your imagination, its history will also enthrall you. From early natives through Christopher Columbus and recent British influence, these islands are a truly unique place where past and present meet harmoniously at every corner. From cliff-top forts and 18th century harbours to plantations and historic windmills, Antigua's rich history as a gateway to the West Indies is only part of its allure. Antigua and Barbuda offer everything the discerning traveller may need. Well acclaimed as a top choice for special family holidays, romantic getaways, weddings and honeymoons, the wide variety of accommodation and amenities are first class. From secluded and private villas and beautifully appointed hotels to shorefront restaurants, fine dining and luxurious spas, everything you need is there to feel relaxed and pampered. Antigua's capital city, St. John's, is charming and traditional. Bustling with life, warm and welcoming, this traditional West Indian city is a popular hub for shopping and dining. St. John's is also home to the citadel of a Caribbean passion, the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Ground. While across the island at the historic English harbour, sailing fanatics from all over the world descend on Antigua to take part in the world-famous Antigua Sailing Week. Well known for its annual carnival, Antigua and Barbuda is also home to a vibrant music scene. Come discover Antigua and Barbuda, where the beach is only the beginning.
Sunshine glowing on a turquoise sea. I'm swaying just for you and me. Island rhythm never leaves a trace, but it's tattooed on my soul's embrace. White sand stretch where the heart runs free. Laughter echoes on the island breeze. Steel drums playing on the moonlit trees. Moving easy, living out in fantasy. Antigua's calling so wild and free. Barbuda whispers, be here with me. Feel the vibe on the canopy. In this paradise you wanna be.
Gentlemen, the time allocated for the break is over. We ask you to kindly return to your places so we may continue with this process. Señoras y señores, el tiempo.
Ladies and gentlemen, the amount of time that had been designated for this break is now up, and so we ask that delegations please return to their seats so that we might resume the process.
Señor Presidente.
Chair, as soon as all the delegations are in their seats, we will resume the process and we will distribute ballots.
Sorry.
Can we quickly settle down? And in settling down, I recognize the delegate of Antigua Barbuda on a point of order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we've invited all of these lovely people to Antigua and Barbuda. We didn't invite them just to stay in these halls, and we certainly did not invite them to spend their last night in Antigua in four walls. We wanted them to be in the atmosphere of a tropical island, to be able to enjoy the wonderful sea breezes, the great cuisine, and of course, our magnificent rum. Therefore, I want to propose that if at the end of the next round of voting on this matter, we still have an unresolved situation in that neither of the two candidates is able to secure 18 votes, that we, as the General Assembly of this organization, the supreme decision-making body, with the authority to make rules and also to delegate the authority of this assembly to the Permanent Council, that the assembly should delegate the voting for this third seat for the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, nothing else, just this third seat, 2 weeks from today in Washington, D.C., at the headquarters of the organization. And we hold this election again for this seat between exactly the same two countries and exactly the same two candidates, 2 weeks from today. That is the proposal, Mr. Chairman, that if at the end of this fourth round that you're about to do, there is still deadlock, that would be the decision of the General Assembly.
There's a proposal on the floor. I recognize the delegate of Canada.
Canada would like to second the proposal from Antigua and Barbuda.
It's moved and seconded by Antigua, Barbuda, and Canada. I recognize the delegation of Mexico.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Chair. Being one of the two delegations involved in this process, I would request some time to come to some kind of an opinion as it pertains to the proposal by Antigua and Barbuda.
Could in the meantime proceed with the ballots, because the next step is the ballots. The proposal is that we proceed with the fourth round of voting, and the recommendation, which is moved by Antigua, seconded by Canada, will take effect after we have exercised that ballot. I recognize, oh, okay, there's another name on the board, that's gone. I recognize Grenada.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Grenada wishes to support the position advanced by Antigua and Barbuda.
Okay, Grenada supports the recommendation of Antigua and Barbuda supported by Canada. So there are three countries now in support of this particular motion. So we will proceed with the distribution of ballots. I do not hear any. As per usual, we check the ballots to verify that there are no extraneous marks. Ballots seem to be in good condition, awaiting the affixing of your respective marks, reminding you that a candidate can only achieve victory having attained 18 votes, a minimum of 18 votes. Instructions to proceed with distribution of ballots to the Secretariat.
Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. Voto en blanco. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. 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 Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. Francisco de Sá e Silva, Brasil. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. José Luis Caballero Ochoa, México. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil. Fábio de Sá e Silva, Brasil.
No. Presidente.
Chair.
Please, Mr. Scrutineer, report to the Assembly the count of the ballots.
Gracias, presidente.
Thank you, Chair. We received 32 ballots. The results of the count were as follows. The candidate José Luis Caballero Ochoa of Mexico, 15 votes. And the candidate Fábio de Sá y Silva, 16 votes. 1 blank vote.
scrutineer. Here we are after 4 rounds of voting. I do have some shares in the Kentucky franchise. Before we went to voting, there was a proposal from Antigua Barbuda, seconded by Mexico and by Canada and Grenada. I'm told that Mexico is at this point able to accept the proposal. Mexico, can you so confirm?
Sí, señor presidente.
Yes, Chair. Thank you.
Condition of Mexico now confirms support. I will ask Sir Ronald Saunders, the Antigua Barbuda delegate, to restate for the record the proposal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I apologize in advance for my handwriting, which even I cannot read. but I will struggle through it. It would be along these lines, which the Secretariat can refine. But the proposal is this. The General Assembly decides that in respect of the 3rd vacant seat on the IACHR, it delegates authority to the Permanent Council to hold an election 2 weeks from today, on Friday, 11th July 2025, at the headquarters of the OAS, between the same 2 candidates of Brazil and Mexico that participated in the election process at the General Assembly in Antigua and Barbuda on 27th of June 2025.
Thank you, Excellency. We so agree. We will now continue the... Costa Rica. So I recognize the delegate of Costa Rica.
Yes, Chairman, thank you. We should consider what happens if this repeats in the Permanent Council. So the proposed resolution needs an amendment and a solution, just in case the situation persists. Thank you.
I take Costa Rica's point is that when it gets to the meeting in 2 weeks, there should be a definitive outcome. Antigua Barbuda.
Mr. Chairman, I think that we would benefit from the advice of Jean-Michel Erigi, the legal counsel, but I would suspect that all that we need to do to this proposal is to say that the elections of the Permanent Council will be conducted in accordance with the rules of the organization, the rules that apply to to elections for the ICHR. And if the Permanent Council has to spend a week resolving it, then they will spend a week resolving it. But we cannot resolve it tonight, and that is the problem, which is why we have proposed this solution. But we have 2 weeks in which the 2 countries that are the contenders here can themselves debate it between themselves. More than that, each of them can seek support from other people. It is not beyond the realm of possibility that the next round can have a result. So we have no idea what bargaining and negotiations go on in the next 2 weeks, but there is bound to be a solution. And if there is not, then the Permanent Council has the same ability that we do here to carry on the process until such time as there's a result. But there is really no point in continuing to do it tonight.
Thank you, Sir Juan. So resolve it, the Permanent Council shall. We now move on to the next item, report of the General Committee. And continue the matters on the order of business. This session will now consider a report on the work of the General Committee, undertaking on the issues that it was assigned. I'm pleased to offer the floor to the Rapporteur of the General Committee, Ms. Andrea Alacon, Alternative Representative of Colombia to the OAS for the presentation of the report. Distinguished Rapporteur, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. As a rapporteur of the General Committee, I'm honored to present to the distinguished ministers and heads of delegation at this 55th regular period of session of the OAS General Assembly the report on the activities of the General Committee pursuant to Article 25 of the Rules of Procedure of the General Assembly. The plenary in its first session held on Wednesday, June 25th, 2025, installed the General Committee in accordance with Article 22 of the Rules of Procedure and on the proposal of the delegation of Antigua and Barbuda, seconded by the delegation of Bolivia to the OAS, elected Ambassador Benoni Belli, permanent representative of Brazil to the OAS, as chair. The President of the General Assembly invited the General Committee to submit a report on its activities at the fourth plenary session, the 27th of June, before 3 p.m. It also requested that the necessary measures be taken in order to ensure that the deliberations are recorded and archived. The plenary assigned 2 draft resolutions to the committee for consideration. The first is the draft resolution calling for concrete solutions to be brought to bear as a matter of urgency to resolve the grave security and institutional crisis in Haiti, AG/Doc 5882/25. Second, draft resolution establishment of a credentials committee for organs of the Organization of American States, AG/Doc 5888/25. Order business. At its first meeting held on June 26, 2025, the General Committee considered and adopted the draft agenda, document AG/CG/OD-1/25, which included the 2 aforementioned draft resolutions. Election of the Vice Chair and Rapporteur. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 24 of the Rules of Procedure of the General Assembly, the committee proceeded to elect its Vice Chair and Rapporteur. The delegation of Mexico nominated Joy D. Davis Lake, the Minister Counselor of the Permanent Mission of Antigua and Barbuda, as the Vice Chair. That nomination was supported by the delegates of Brazil and Haiti, and Ms. Davis Lake was elected by acclamation. The delegation of Costa Rica, seconded by the delegation of Chile, proposed my name as the rapporteur of the General Committee, and I was likewise elected by acclamation. Methodology. Given the limited time available, the General Committee adopted a methodology designed to facilitate more efficient progress by limiting statements to 5 minutes and focusing its discussions on paragraphs pending approval and/or with proposed language. This approach also included an understanding regarding the treatment of footnotes. The procedure was based on a proposal originally presented by the chair of the General Committee, document AG/CG-01/25. Meetings. The General Committee held 2 meetings in the morning and the afternoon of Thursday, June 26, in order to consider the matters assigned to it. Under the able leadership of its chair, Ambassador Benoni Belli, permanent representative of Brazil, the General Committee approved by consensus the 2 draft resolutions assigned to it. The following summary provided for the consideration of the plenary outlines how the General Committee dealt with the drafts that were entrusted to it. First of all, draft resolution calling for concrete solutions to be brought to bear as a matter of urgency to resolve the grave security and institutional crisis in Haiti. The committee reviewed this draft resolution at its first and second working meetings. The draft, submitted to the General Committee by the Permanent Council, and included comments by the delegations of the United States on 2 preambular paragraphs and 5 operative paragraphs. However, the text had been previously agreed on by the Permanent Council. With respect to the second preambular paragraph, the delegation of Haiti requested that the reference to the territory under the control of armed gangs be limited to only certain parts of the national territory. The 11th preambular paragraph incorporated the UN Security Council Resolution 2751. The following operative paragraphs were adopted with amendments proposed by the delegation of the United States. Paragraph 4, regarding the call to support the Multinational Security Support Mission, MSS. 10, concerning the call to implement the UN Security Council resolutions. And 14, requesting the Secretary General develop an action plan in consultation with the government of Haiti. In operative paragraph 6, concerning the disproportionate impact of widespread violence and the multidimensional crisis in Haiti, the discussion focused on the reference to gender-based violence. Consensus was reached in order to retain the original wording, the increase in sexual and gender-based violence against women and girls. Following the adoption of this language, the delegations of Argentina, the United States, and Paraguay announced their intention to submit footnotes. The Mexican delegation also proposed inclusion of a reference to the principles of international law, which was approved, as was the amendments of the United States referring to the respective commitments undertaken. In operative paragraph 16, which addresses the strengthened role of the OAS and the call to intensify diplomatic engagement with the UN Security Council and Secretariat, the original proposal was approved with an addition by the Dominican Republic that was supported by the delegation of Haiti. And that addition was requested consideration of the options provided for in the UN Charter and the proposals outlined in the letter of the UN Secretary General to the Security Council dated February 24, 2025. That is document S/2025/122. And to do so without limiting the scope exclusively to those options as requested by the U.S. delegation. At the conclusion of the consideration of this draft resolution, the delegation of the Dominican Republic requested that its name be added to the co-sponsoring states. The Canadian delegation commended the delegation of Haiti for its leadership in submitting this resolution. The draft resolution was approved during the second working meeting of the General Committee for submission to the plenary. Second draft resolution, establishment of a credentials committee for organs of the Organization of American States. AG Doc 5888/25. The committee reviewed this draft resolution at its second and working meeting. The draft resolution submitted by the Permanent Council included 7 operative paragraphs pending initial consideration, and the review of the title and operative paragraph 4, on which discussion had already begun. With regard to the title, it was agreed that the Credentials Committee would be referencing the Organization of American States and omitting any mention of its organs. All pending paragraphs were agreed upon, and new paragraphs were added to enhance clarity of the draft. It's worth noting that the operative paragraph concerning disputes was removed as it was deemed unnecessary to include such a reference in order to fulfill the main objective of the resolution. Implementation of the resolution is expected to be able to proceed following the adjustment of the relevant instruments and their approval. The draft resolution was approved by consensus during the second working meeting of the General Committee with a view to its submission to the plenary. Following the conclusion of the General Committee, I was informed of the submission of document PRM-OAS 2204 addressed to the President of the General Assembly by the Mission of Canada. The document requested that this rapporteur inform the plenary of the decision by the 3 sponsoring states, that is, Canada, Antigua and Barbuda, and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, to withdraw operative paragraph 9 from the draft resolution under consideration. On behalf of all of the delegations, I would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to Ambassador Benoni Belli for his effective and exemplary leadership in guiding the work of the General Committee. I also extend thanks to the representatives of the member states for their cooperation and commitment in completing this important task. I am grateful to the member states for nominating and electing me as rapporteur. Also, special thanks are due to the local support staff and the General Secretariat for their invaluable collaboration, dedication, and professionalism, key elements in ensuring the smooth conduct of our work. It is an honor to submit this report for consideration of the ministers and heads of delegation at the 55th regular session of the General Assembly. Thank you very much.
Thank you much, Madam Rapporteur, for your report. In that connection, I believe that all representatives will join me in expressing our appreciation to Ambassador Benoni Belli, Permanent Rep of Brazil to the OAS and Chair of the General Committee, the Vice Chair, Ms. Joy D. Davis-Lake, Alternate Representative of Antigua-Barbuda to the OAS, and Rapporteur, Ms. Andrea Alacon, the Alternate Representative of Colombia to the OAS, as well as all the delegations that participated in the discussions of the General Committee. Having heard the Rapporteur's report, I now ask delegations whether we can adopt the draft resolution entitled Calling for Concrete Solutions to be Brought to Bear as a Matter of Urgency to Resolve the Great Security and Institutional Crisis in Haiti. Adopted. With respect to the draft resolution entitled Establishment of a Credentials Committee for the Organs of the OAS, as reported by the Rapporteur, the delegation of Canada, coordinating with the delegations of Antigua-Barbuda,
countries want to interfere. I think once you finish topic.
I've done this.
Okay. You can continue up to here, and then you have the floor.
With respect to the draft resolution entitled Establishment of Credentials Committee for the Organs of the Organization of American States, as reported by our rapporteur, the delegation of Canada, coordinated with delegations of Antigua-Barbuda and the Bahamas, respectfully convey the collective decision of the sponsoring delegations to request the withdrawal of operative paragraph 9 of the draft resolution. This request is reflected in the notes distributed as document AG/INF 808/25. This decision will be taken to ensure internal consistency throughout the draft resolution, and the withdrawal of this paragraph is intended to prevent any potential implication that could inadvertently undermine the authority of the General Assembly or the members in their collective role in determining the validity of representation within the organs of the organization. I now recognize the delegation of Antigua and Barbuda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I know the hour is late and everyone would like to bring this meeting to a close and to spend at least the last evening in Antigua enjoying the atmosphere of the country. And we are happy to facilitate that. So I will keep my remarks very brief. Antigua and Barbuda was honored to join the Bahamas in drafting this resolution and shaping the concept note that laid its foundation. Until today, the OAS stood alone in the United Nations system without a member state credentials committee, a gap that had produced inconsistent decisions and perceptions of inequity. We thank all delegations for their constructive debate and for forging consensus. With the adoption of a 5-member credentials committee drawn from regional groups, the OAS now aligns with international best practices, bringing uniformity, transparency, and the direct involvement of member states to the credentials review process. Antigua and Barbuda is pleased that there has been agreement by the proponent countries to withdraw the proposed operative paragraph 9, which was introduced late in the negotiations conducted in the General Committee. We must be clear that the final approval of all credentials resides in the Permanent Council and ultimately in the General Assembly. In other words, the authority resides in the member states of this organization. In this way, we can avoid past errors by not credentialing any persons who are not accredited by the government in effective control of a member state in strict accordance with the OAS Charter and international law. This safeguard will prevent confusion over unauthorized or interim actors seeking to claim representation without lawful authority. In closing, Mr. Chairman, we are proud to have helped strengthen our organization's procedures and to ensure that in this interconnected hemisphere, every delegation is accredited through a transparent and equitable process. We look forward to the committee's inaugural session and to the enhanced confidence that its work will bring to all OAS deliberations. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Antigua Barbuda. The delegation of the Bahamas.
Good evening, Chair, distinguished colleagues. The delegation of the Bahamas is pleased to join Antigua and Barbuda as the proponents and Chile and St. Lucia as co-sponsors of this important resolution on the establishment of a credentials committee for the Organization of American States. We thank the Chair of the General Committee, Ambassador Belli, and the Vice Chair, Ms. Joy D. Lake, and the Rapporteur, Ms. Andrea Alarcon, for their sterling efforts. We extend our deepest gratitude to Sir Ronald Sanders and the delegation of Antigua and Barbuda for their unwavering stewardship, and to all co-sponsors and collaborating delegations whose thoughtful engagement has helped to advance this initiative. This effort reflects a shared understanding and the need to modernize our governance structures and to ensure that our institutional architecture is fit for purpose and fit for the future. Chair, the resolution before us today fills a critical procedural and institutional gap. While credentials are fundamental to the legitimacy of representation within the organs of the OAS, there's long been no dedicated body empowered to advise member states on credential-related matters. In this regard, the Bahamas align itself with the practices established in our other multilateral forums, particularly the United Nations and its repertory process, which have long been recognized and has identified the value of structured, impartial credential review mechanisms to avoid confusion, duplication, or political deadlock. Chair, the adoption of this resolution signals the commitment of member states to institutional transparency, legal coherence, and modern multilateralism. It strengthens our collective capacity to act with clarity and unity, and it reinforces the trust that our member states and citizens place in this organization. The Bahamas has pursued this endeavor for 7 years. 7 years. Invariably, we are proud to support this forward-looking initiative and urges its unanimous adoption as amended. I thank you and the plenary for its kind attention.
Thank you, Bahamas. I now give the floor to the delegation of Paraguay.
Thank you very much, Chair. As far as I understand, with the recommendations for how to proceed with the 55th regular period of sessions of the OAS General Assembly, if we have a footnote, we need to announce that before adoption, and I just wanted to highlight that we did not have the opportunity to give that statement previously. Therefore, I hope that we are able to take note of this. I would also like to note that we welcome this resolution and support it, though, as the rapporteur noted, we need to include a footnote. And that text has already been sent to the Secretariat for their records. And we would also like to share that for Paraguay, it's extremely important for us to reiterate our support provided to Haiti as an organization, given the very serious institutional security crisis that has beset that member state. Haiti, as part of the hemispheric family that comprises our organization, deserves a lasting solution to the challenges it faces and the opportunity to return to the toward peace, stability, and development. We staunchly believe that the OAS can and should play a constructive and pertinent role as we redouble our efforts and join the international community with that aim. Thank you very much, Chair.
Muchas gracias, Paraguay.
Thank you very much, Paraguay.
Floor to the delegation of Haiti.
Thank you, Chair, dear colleagues. The Republic of Haiti is delighted with the adoption by the General Assembly of the OAS of the draft resolution entitled is an urgent call for concrete solutions given the serious security and institutional crisis in Haiti. Adopting this draft resolution by the OAS is an essential step forward in supporting these principles. At the very least, one, this was a resolution was presented by and for Haiti. As I stated in my exchanges with the Secretary General, and as we asked our partners and friends, seeking solutions to the problems in Haiti must also involve Haitians. On the other hand, this resolution looks to strengthen partnerships with our international partners and should focus on implementing a global plan of action that is focused on priorities defined by Haitian authorities. I am therefore expressing our gratitude to all member states who have supported Haiti's cause through this resolution. I would like to underscore one feature. CARICOM, and I've never thanked them for their constant presence hand in hand with Haiti and Haitians. Thank you also to the Dominican Republic and the United States, who worked with us to co-sponsor this resolution. Chair, please allow me to briefly highlight that this resolution, as it states in its title, is a call to focus on urgent solutions to address this multidimensional crisis that has lasted for far too long in Haiti. And therefore, we are looking for clear, feasible solutions in the framework of coordinated international and regional efforts in order to effectively respond to the security, humanitarian, political, and institutional crises in Haiti. We therefore appreciate that this resolution asks for, and I quote, supporting the Haitian authorities in restoring public order, while encouraging member states of the OAS to remain faithful in their efforts to concrete efforts, as I quote, strengthened support for Haitian national security and the multinational security support mission in order to increase their effectiveness, end quote. We're also delighted with the mechanism which asks to request that the General Secretariat of the OAS worked in collaboration with Haiti to come up with a comprehensive plan of action, including efforts aimed at mobilizing resources in line with Haitian priorities, as well as participation from the organization in convening an international conference for donors. Thank you. And Chair, colleagues, experience has taught us that we always work better together, and we can go much further when our actions are guided by a deep sense of shared responsibility. Against this backdrop, I am once again very grateful to all of you, everyone around the table. Partners and friends of Haiti. And I invite you to translate these words into action without delay, working hand in hand with Haiti as we implement the mandates of this resolution, and therefore we will be able to establish public security and institutional governance in Haiti as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Haiti. And now, Panama is recognized. As mentioned by the Paraguayan delegation, I would just like to note that since we did not have the opportunity to introduce a footnote to the resolution facing the serious mental health crisis in the Americas, Panama will be sending a footnote referring to the fact that this resolution that was just described will be implemented in Panama in line with our national constitution and domestic legislation, as well as our customs. And our permanent mission to the OAS will be sending that footnote in order for it to be added to the resolution addressing the serious mental health crisis in the Americas. And we ask you to please take note at the Secretariat. Thank you very much, Chair.
Gracias.
Thank you. El Salvador is recognized. Thank you very much, Chair. El Salvador is delighted with the adoption of the resolution calling for an urgent solutions to the serious crisis in Haiti, which is a guide for our coordinated actions, allowing us to implement comprehensive activities to resolve the multidimensional, very serious crisis that has beset Haiti and that's exacerbated by growing activity by armed gangs and violence. And Haiti is going through serious challenges, as it has throughout its history. And as we know firsthand, suffering from the Haitian people right now is also guided by a spirit of solidarity. And we express our support to Haiti as we have sent 78 members of the military as part of the multi-dimensional support mission to Haiti, as well as air and medical support, providing our best personnel and equipment with broad national and international experience. We strongly believe that we will be able to shoulder our responsibilities and commitments as an international community in order to redouble our efforts and spare none in order to ensure that results in Haiti are sustainable and our brotherly country is able to return to peace. The government and people of Haiti, as well as the international and inter-American communities, must shoulder this responsibility. Each of our countries has different strengths, and the time has come for us to work to ensure that we are able to provide parallel assistance that includes inter-American and international financing, and we must live up to the challenge in order to find a solution for these challenges. Each day without action is another violation of the most fundamental rights of the Haitian people, impacting disproportionately the most vulnerable. We shoulder this commitment based on the principles and values of the inter-American community that we all share as part of this system. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much. I give the floor with great pride to a great friend, the Foreign Minister of St. Lucia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, as we prepare to take this assembly to a logical conclusion, I would like to, based on the gravity of the situation in Haiti, take the floor to make a few brief remarks. And I will get down to business unhesitatingly. St. Lucia reaffirms its unwavering support for Haiti and call upon all member states to unite in solidarity, offering meaningful assistance as Haiti navigates its current challenges. Haiti's profound historical legacy, its revolutionary spirit and enduring contributions to our region remains a testament to its resilience and significance. Today, Haiti faces complex political, socio-cultural, and economic realities shaped by its unique journey toward independence and self-determination. The current situation in Haiti is the function of multifaceted challenges, including natural disasters, institutional fragility, and prolonged instability. These challenges not only affect the Haitian people, but also have broader implications for regional stability and prosperity. The time for collective action is now. Let us work together with urgency and determination to support Haiti, recognizing its distinct needs and potential. As the only least developed country in our region, Haiti deserves focus and sustained engagement from the international community. Together we can help Haiti realize its rightful place as a thriving nation, rich in culture, trade, and opportunity. Moving forward, we must prioritize solutions that align with Haiti's historical, economic, and socio-cultural context. Everything must be sensitive to context, Mr. Chairman. Haitian-led initiatives supported by regional and global partners will be essential in fostering lasting stability. By strengthening security, institutions, and social programs, we can uphold the principles of the OAS of peace, justice, and human rights for all. We must, under our respective mandates and with lightning rapidity, work more tirelessly and consistently towards returning Haiti to stability. Because the pursuit of peace and prosperity in Haiti is a shared responsibility, one that calls for regional unity and global cooperation. St. Lucia stands ready to collaborate in crafting and implementing solutions that empower Haiti and its people. I close by accentuating, Chair, that we must seize this moment to reaffirm our commitment to Haiti's future, ensuring that our actions today pave the way for stability, growth, and renewed hope. So let us continue to organize ourselves into that integrated whole so that we can create the conditions necessary to achieve common goals and our collective destiny. La lucha continua.
The fight continues. We will always be victorious.
I now give the floor. I now give the floor to the delegation of the United States.
Thank you, Chair. The United States strongly supports the resolution just adopted regarding the security crisis in Haiti as one of its co-sponsors, and it commends the Haitian delegation for its leadership and perseverance. We endorse the Haitian-led process to restore constitutional order and democratic governance. We are proud to be a principal supporter of the multinational security support mission, which is critical to stabilizing the worsening security environment, facilitating humanitarian access, and creating space necessary for political solutions. At the same time, these components are not enough. We call on all OAS member states to urgently deepen their support for the Haitian people through diplomatic, technical, material means, and work with them on the road to security, elections, peace, and institutional renewal. As Deputy Secretary Landau indicated the other day, we believe the OAS can and must play a greater role in this effort as an absolutely vital organizer of coordinating all these different components that are necessary to assist the authorities in Haiti in restoring their wonderful country. The resolution today is a step forward in that effort, and it reaffirmed our commitment. We look forward to the implementation of that in accord with the plan that Secretary Ramdin mentioned the other day. So thank you all again, and we also, just as we're closing this, would comment on the earlier elections. We're very proud that our candidate, Rosa Maria Paya, won, but we also wanted to commend all the other candidates for their willingness to serve in this role, and for the existing members of the Inter-American Human Rights Commission, who we have great respect for. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, United States. La última intervención.
The final statement. I give the floor to the delegation of Peru. Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, Peru, as we already mentioned at our main speech during the General Assembly, is quite sensitive to the concerning security crisis in the Republic of Haiti, and that is why we decisively support all efforts for concerted action, as was mentioned by the representative from St. Lucia, in order to deal with and relieve this terrible situation. It's unacceptable, one that we have to keep from destroying the future of a sister nation of ours, Haiti. That is why we have supported the resolution that was adopted by this assembly, and particularly, we hope that soon this comprehensive plan on a way to resolve the issue in Haiti that we have delivered to the Secretary General, I believe that this must include a series of legal elements, juridical aspects, operative factors, financial considerations. That's central here. And it will allow us to garner clarity on where and how we can help all the country, how all us countries of the organization can help our sister nation Haiti. Additionally, Chair, as all the other distinguished ambassadors did, the representatives from Panama, from Paraguay, we also, in our main statement, made reference to the fact that we support and that this is a priority for Peru, what was adopted in the resolution titled Facing the Serious Mental Health Crisis in the Americas. And that is why, Chair, if it pleases the Chair, we would like to ask the Secretariat for the inclusion of a footnote in that resolution, in the sense that public policy in this area, which I repeat is a national priority for Peru, will have to be implemented in a progressive fashion and pursuant to the principles of the rule of law, and always respecting our national legal frameworks, and it goes without saying, the realities faced in Peru. Thank you very much, Chair.
I thank delegations for your very rich and positive interventions. I now consult the plenary. With this in mind, can we therefore approve the draft resolution entitled Establishment of a Credentials Committee for the Organs of the OAS? Adopted. Having now concluded our consideration of the report of the General Committee, and before proceeding to the next item on our agenda, I offer the floor to the delegations of the permanent observers. I would at this stage invite an intervention from the delegation of the United Kingdom.
Secretary General, Assistant Secretary General, Ministers, Delegates, friends. On behalf of the United Kingdom, I would like to thank Antigua and Barbuda for hosting this important assembly. The UK's relationships with our friends and allies across the Americas are important to all of us. Be it climate change, security, or sustainable development, we face the greatest challenges together. And indeed, for more than 2 centuries now, the UK and Argentina have shared bilateral relationships as part of a long, rich history. My friend, the UK Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, has met President Milei a number of times. Earlier this year, Security Minister Patricia Bullrich enjoyed a highly successful visit to the UK. And even where we disagree, we're working together to reduce tensions. So in September 2024, my friend, the Foreign Secretary, and the former Argentine Foreign Minister, Diana Mondino, announced a new package of cooperation. This recognized that while we may not agree on sovereignty, there is much we can achieve by working together in the South Atlantic. The UK and Falkland Islanders have come together to implement this, including support for Argentine families travelling to the Falkland Islands in December last year to visit graves from the 1982 conflict. For a community living with the trauma of invasion and occupation, that was not easy. Yet Falkland Islanders wanted to do the right thing. Both the UK and Falkland Islanders look forward to seeing Argentina make good on their commitments. That includes cooperation on fisheries for the benefit of all, and the resumption of the flight between the islands and Sao Paulo. The UK remains determined to work with all our partners, including Argentina. And the UK's support for the Falkland Islanders' inalienable right of self-determination remains undiminished. Falkland Islanders alone should decide their future. In the referendum they held in 2013, Islanders voted to maintain their status as a self-governing UK overseas territory overwhelmingly. 5 of the 6 observers of the referendum came from the OAS member states, reporting that it was free, fair, and reflected the will of the voters. Today, the Falkland Islands are a democratic and prosperous community, showing the world what is possible on sustainable fisheries and environmental conservation. They're determining their own future, and their success has been recognized by S&P Global Ratings, who've given the Falkland Islands an impressive A+, and this is an objective recognition of the stable and thriving community that the islanders have built. And later this year, the Falkland Islands will hold a general election to decide their next government. They will vote on issues such as education, the economy, and the environment. So I hope this Assembly will recognize that we cannot pick and choose who is entitled to the basic human right of democracy. The people of the Falkland Islands are rightly proud of their vibrant, small island, big ocean democracy, and they're clear that neither the UK nor Argentina can negotiate the future that they are determining for themselves. So let me be clear. My government will not negotiate on the future of the Falkland Islands unless the islanders themselves wish it, and they do not. I was delighted that many of your governments continue to engage constructively with the Falkland Islanders and have expressed your support for their democratic rights. And I hope that members of the Assembly will agree that we cannot selectively choose when democratic rights apply to a community. The UK has no doubt about its sovereignty over the Falkland Islands, South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands, and the surrounding maritime areas. And we have no doubt that the principle and the right of self-determination enshrined in the UN Charter and in Article 1 of the 2 UN Covenants on Human Rights. By virtue of this, Falkland Islanders can determine their political status and pursue their economic, social, and cultural development freely. So the UK asks that the General Assembly takes note of the islanders' right of self-determination and that this statement is read into the record of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you to the delegation or the delegate of the United Kingdom. I recognize the delegate from Argentina.
Thank you, Chair. In response to what was expressed by the permanent representative of the UK, the Republic of Argentina wants to remind that the Malvinas Islands, the South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands, and the surrounding seas are an integral part of the national territory of Argentina, and that they are currently legitimately occupied by the UK. They are the object of a dispute in Resolution 2065 and the subsequent resolutions of the United Nations. The principle of determination that the distinguished delegate of the UK just mentioned is not applicable in this case. None of the General Assembly resolutions in the UN or the Special Decolonization Committee on the matter of the Malvinas make reference to such a principle. Chair, the vote held in 2013 in the Malvinas Islands was not convened or carried out under the auspices of the United Nations, as has been done in other decolonization contexts. It was a unilateral measure by the occupying power that does not alter the essence of the Malvinas matter, as was affirmed by the International Court of Justice. It is the General Assembly's responsibility to decide the modalities for the free expression of a non-autonomous peoples, including the formulation of questions, the structuring of questions in a referendum. That said, Chair, in 2013, this consultation in 2013 was invalid because that General Assembly did not participate at all. Chair, we are trying to fulfill all of the obligations of the General Assembly, and it calls on parties to renew negotiations so that we can achieve a peaceful solution and achieve decolonization of the Malvinas. Thank you very much.
Argentina.
Thank you, Argentina.
Y gracias.
And thank you to the delegation of the UK.
The very wording of the next agenda item, you will know exactly where we are in our proceedings. We now turn our consideration to the place and date of the 56th regular session of the General Assembly in accordance with Article 30 of the Rules of Procedure. In that regard, I am pleased to announce that the government of the Republic of Panama has generously offered to host the General Assembly in 2026. It therefore gives me great pleasure in giving the floor to the head of the delegation of Panama to speak on his country's kind offer. Excellency, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Señor Presidente.
Chair, I would really appreciate if the video that the delegation of Panama has presented for the occasion to be put up on screen.
Welcome to Panama, where worlds converge. With its connectivity, ease of access, and privileged geographical position, Panama offers a unique experience. Arrive in Panama on a non-stop flight from major cities across the Americas and Europe, and be awed at our cosmopolitan city that hosts the engineering marvel that is the Panama Canal. Panama offers a safe environment with top-tier international hotel chains and exceptional event venues, including the expansive Panama Convention Center. Experience the contrast of Panama City's modern skyline, boasting some of Latin America's tallest skyscrapers, against the backdrop of historic sites like Panama Viejo and Casco Antiguo, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Immerse yourself in the surrounding natural parks, such as the Metropolitan Park, the Soberanía National Park, and Cerro Ancon. Panama City's vibrant culture and biodiversity await. Enhance your stay by exploring the diverse shopping malls, duty-free stores, and savoring the rich gastronomy that Panama has to offer. Venture beyond the city to explore day trip options such as Taboga Island in the Gulf of Panama, or cultural encounters with the Emberá indigenous community along the Chagres River, or with the Gunas in their lands. Embark on a historical journey via the Interoceanic Railway, traversing lakes and tropical rainforests, connecting two oceans. Or spend time at one of the Panama Canal's visitor centers in the Miraflores or the Agua Clara Locks. Indulge in unique culinary experiences, breakfast in the Pacific, lunch in the Caribbean, and take in panoramic views from the top of the Baru volcano in Chiriquí province, where you can savor freshly brewed geisha coffee. Experience the natural wonders of Panama. Our wildlife is rich and diverse. We're the home and a place of pilgrimage to more than 1,000 bird species. Turtles nest on more than 200 of our beaches, and thousands of humpback whales swim through our waters. Discover stunning beaches and islands, including Bocas del Toro, Santa Catalina, Pedací, Tonosí, and the Pacific Riviera. Perfect for surfing, diving, snorkeling, and more. Trace the colonial roots and pirate history in Panama Viejo, Casco Antiguo, San Lorenzo, Portobelo, Camino Real, and Camino de Cruces, all within an hour of the ports. Visit the Frank Gehry Bio Museo at the Amador Causeway and delve into Panama's transformative history. Immerse yourself in the rich cultural heritage of Panama's 7 indigenous communities and Afro-Caribbean descendants, experiencing their traditions, cuisine, and way of life. Panama offers what travelers desire and provides what you need for an unforgettable journey. Welcome to Panama.
Yes. Gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you, Chair. The Republic of Panama takes great pleasure in offering our capital as host for the 56th General Assembly of the Organization of American States. We take on the commitment of holding this hemispheric meeting with the openness and responsibility that current circumstances require. It will happen at the same time as the bicentennial for Panama, when multilateralism was first put forward in the Americas. This was a seed that has grown and turned into a fruitful tree. And so we hope that the next assembly will be a space for deep reflection where we will renew the democratic systems of governance with respect for sovereignty and international law, the peaceful resolution of conflict, and cooperation based on solidarity among states. We want to focus on multilateralism, and so we have invited many organs from the Inter-American system. Among them, we have had the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, the Committee Against Terrorism, the Inter-American Juridical Committee, the Inter-American Human Rights Commission, the Commission on Telecommunications, the Meeting of Ministers for Public Security, and the Meeting of Ministers and High Authorities for Social Development, among others.
Panamá reitera su firme voluntad de contribuir.
Panama reiterates its commitment to renew the Inter-American system. We are pleased at the opportunity to host you next year with the characteristic warmth of the people of Panama. And to paraphrase our minister from Colombia, you'll have cumbia, you'll have drums, some salsa, and even a little bit of reggaeton. So we say goodbye with the conviction that together we will be able to create a region that is more resilient, one that's more inclusive and democratic. We will warmly welcome you in our country next year. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much. Thank you so much to the delegation of Panama. Now, we have a request for the floor from the Dominican Republic. Thank you, Chair. The delegation of the Dominican Republic wants to thank the enthusiastic offer from Panama to host the 56th regular session of the General Assembly, which will be held in the beautiful city of Panama in 2026. In that regard, we would like to request that in the resolution, which for the offer the General Assembly will adopt, we include a resolutive paragraph that expresses the appreciation towards the people and the government of Panama for offering to host the previously mentioned 56th General Assembly, and Chair, my delegation will make that text arrive. We'll deliver that text to the Secretariat, and we hope that this resolution will be adopted by acclamation.
The draft resolution, place and date for the 56th regular session of the General Assembly is adopted by acclamation. Colleagues, having determined the place and date for the next regular session, we'll proceed with the immediate closing of this session. Honorable Ministers of Foreign Affairs and Heads of Delegation, esteemed Ambassador Benoni Belli, Chair of the OAS Permanent Council and the General Assembly's Preparatory Committee and Permanent Representative of Brazil to the OAS, distinguished representatives of member states, esteemed Secretary General of the OAS, Albert Ramden, esteemed Assistant Secretary General of the OAS, Nestor Mendez, distinguished permanent observers of the OAS, representatives of international organizations, representatives of civil society organizations and other social actors, special guests, ladies and gentlemen. With deep satisfaction and a renewed sense of commitment, I address you in a final act, that of declaring the conclusion of this, the 55th regular session of the General Assembly of the OAS. Over the past 3 days, we have engaged in a constructive and respectful dialogue, reaffirming our shared commitment to regional integration and the principles of multilateralism. A particularly meaningful exchange took place around the central theme of the session, building resilient, inclusive economies in the Americas. The active engagement of all delegations highlighted the importance of economic resilience, equity, and sustainability as key pillars for long-term recovery and prosperity in our hemisphere. This General Assembly also produced concrete and timely results. We adopted important resolutions that strengthen hemispheric cooperation in key areas, particularly in addressing the growing mental health crisis in our region, an urgent issue that demands coordinated, sustained action. We also reaffirmed the value of shared memory and cultural identity through the commemoration of significant historical milestones and took steps to ensure the financial sustainability and institutional effectiveness of our organization in the years ahead. I must emphasize the resolution addressing the grave security and institutional crisis in Haiti. It reflects the urgent need for coordinated and decisive action to support the Haitian people and help restore peace, stability, and a democratic order. The strong commitment expressed by member states is both a message of solidarity and a call to action. I would like to take a moment to recognize the leadership of Secretary General Albert Ramden, for whom this has been his first General Assembly in this role. His steady guidance, clarity of vision, and commitment to the values of this organization have marked a strong beginning, and we are confident that under his leadership, the OAS will continue to serve as a vital forum for consensus and cooperation. Today, we say farewell to two giants of our organization. I take this opportunity first to recognize the distinguished National of Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Paul Spencer. Paul has served his organization for an exceptional period of 32 years. For many of those years, he was the only national of my country on the professional staff at the OAS. Throughout his long and dedicated career, he has served in many capacities, including as advisor in the Office of the Secretary General and as an OAS country representative. The General Assembly marks his final participation before entering into retirement. On behalf of the government and people of Antigua Barbuda, I wish to express our deep and abiding appreciation for his outstanding service, professionalism, and steadfast commitment to the principles and mission of this great organization. We extend to him our heartfelt thanks and best wishes for a rewarding and well-deserved retirement. Paul, we thank you. Allow me to also express, in a very special way, my profound appreciation for Ambassador Nestor Mendez as he concludes his distinguished tenure as Assistant Secretary General. Over the past 10 years, Ambassador Mendez has demonstrated unwavering professionalism, integrity, and a deep commitment to the principles of the Inter-American system. His leadership, diplomacy, and personal warmth have left a lasting mark on this organization. This General Assembly is his final one in this role. And it is only fitting that we recognize his extraordinary contribution. He has served the OAS with distinction and heart, always working to build bridges, strengthen unity, and promote the voice of all member states. We thank him deeply, profusely, and wish him the very best in the next chapter of his journey. I think it apropos that as your chairman, as your president, I allow my final remarks to be punctuated by sentiments of gratitude from you, esteemed delegates. And so I recognize the delegation of Brazil at this time.
Chair, ladies and gentlemen, heads of delegations, distinguished representatives, on behalf of the Brazilian delegation, I would like to pay sincere tribute to Ambassador Nestor Mendez, who is concluding his mandate as ASG of the OAS after 10 years of dedication focusing on hemispheric multilateralism. Nestor Mendez has always been a great diplomat with robust academic training, a strong professional trajectory, and dedication to the inter-American affairs. And he has been so distinguished as he has been an example for hemispheric diplomacy over the last 10 years. He has been much more than an institutional leader. He has truly built bridges between countries, perspectives, particularly between regions. And he's proud of his Central American, Caribbean, and Latin American roots, always looking to work with the many different parts of our hemisphere, promoting integration and understanding among them. He has focused on sensitivity, balance, and an unwavering dedication to inclusion, dialogue, and democracy. In times of tension, there have been many, he has been able to overcome these tensions and build a space for consensus, listening, and understanding. He began from the Belizean team, and he has been a shining example of diplomacy in his country at the hemispheric level, committed to professional excellence and multilateralism, focusing on building bridges and raising voices. We are deeply grateful, Ambassador Mendez, for your many years of balance on and dedication to the well-being of the Americas. Your work has been so inspiring and leaves a great legacy. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you, Brazil. I recognize the delegation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. In my capacity as chair of the CD for the current semester, I take the floor to express sincere gratitude to His Excellency Nestor Mendez, Assistant Secretary General, at this, his final session of the OAS General Assembly. ASG Mendez concludes his second tenure in the post, having dedicated 10 years of his young life to the service of the people of the Americas. His personal and professional attributes have contributed to building trust in the Secretariat and among member states. This is absolutely indispensable in the facilitation of open and honest dialogue, an essential element in building consensus. In the premier multilateral forum, which is the OAS, Dialogue and consensus building contribute significantly to maintaining peace and democracy, attributes which we enjoy fully in this hemisphere. Ambassador Mendez has demonstrated quality leadership of his team and has been instrumental in introducing many transformations in the operations and effective management of the business of the OAS. I refer to the sustained attention which ASG Mendez paid to ensuring the continuity of the business of the OAS during the COVID-19 pandemic. This he did with a people-centered focus by placing the health and well-being of the staff at the center of the administrative arrangements for continuing the work of the OAS. Here, I evoke the drive-through voting process introduced in 2020 that ensured that the elections occurred within the regulations of the organization while respecting COVID-19 protocols. Ambassador Mendez, your diplomatic acumen, your knowledge of the region, your love for the hemisphere and its people, your dedication to the enhancement of the human capital in the hemisphere, these are the attributes which made you an excellent hemispheric public servant. And I want to thank you for the work which you have done in the Organization of American States. We will miss you. Te echaremos de menos.
We will miss you.
Queremos.
We love you.
I'd also like to extend our gratitude to your first wife. That is a joke. He has one wife. One wife, Elvira. For sharing you with us. For sharing you with us. Te llevamos en el corazón.
We will miss you. We love you.
Go with you.
Thank you. I recognize the delegation of Belize.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Very quickly, Belize would like to, of course, add our voice to expressing our, and acknowledging the great service of Ambassador Mendez. Over the past decade, Ambassador Mendez has served this organization with exceptional dedication, bringing to the role not only tireless diplomacy and unwavering professionalism, but also a deep and genuine commitment to the principles of democracy, human rights, development, and security that underpin the inter-American system. His leadership has been instrumental in advancing initiatives that strengthened institutional effectiveness, deepened multilateral cooperation, and gave greater voice to small and vulnerable states within the hemisphere. Importantly, Ambassador Mendez is a steadfast advocate for hemispheric solidarity and integration. He was especially effective in highlighting and advancing the shared priorities of CARICOM and SICA, two sub-regions to which Belize proudly belongs, helping to bridge their perspectives and ensure their voices were reflected in hemispheric decision-making. Ambassador Mendez's legacy is etched not only in the important programs he championed, but also in the trust, respect, and affection on full display today, which he earned from colleagues across the Americas. His calm resolve, his inclusive spirit, and unshakable sense of duty have made an indelible mark on this organization and all those who have worked with him. Belize is deeply proud of his exemplary service, and we thank him for representing our nation with dignity, integrity, and heart, and we wish him every success in the journey ahead. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you, Belize. We take our last contribution from the floor with Bahamas.
Thank you very much, Chair. It would be remiss of us to leave Antigua and Barbuda without thanking the people and the government for an excellent 55th regular session of the OAS General Assembly. Chair, it's my distinct honor to offer the heartfelt thanks and appreciation at the conclusion of what has been an important and productive General Assembly. First and foremost, we extend our deepest gratitude to the government and people of Antigua and Barbuda for their gracious hospitality and exemplary hosting of the 55th General Assembly. We pay special tribute to Prime Minister Honorable Gaston Brown, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable, and I enjoy this moment, the Honorable Chet Green, and of course His Excellency Sir Ronald Sanders, and Antigua and Barbuda's permanent representative, and the Dean of the Corps of Ambassadors in Washington, D.C. for their steadfast leadership and generous welcome. The warm spirit and professionalism with which we have been received reflect the best Caribbean solidarity and diplomacy. We also take this opportunity to recognize Secretary General Albert Ramden as he assumes the helm of the organization at a pivotal moment. We offer him our full support and best wishes as he leads us forward with vision and resolve. At the same time, we extend immense appreciation to Assistant Secretary General Ernesto Mendez, who concludes his tenure with distinction. Earlier, the mention was made of two giants in the organization. One is Mr. Paul Spencer and the other Mr. Ernesto Mendez. I am not that tall, so everybody to me is a giant. But in this case, it is truly meant in respect of those two individuals. And Nestor is a brother, a friend, and a mentor. His tireless commitment to the OAS and to strengthening hemispheric cooperation has left a meaningful and enduring legacy. We thank him sincerely for his service. We further commend the staff of the government of Antigua and Barbuda. I've felt the warmth every day I come, besides eating the oatmeal cookies, all of them. I felt the warmth from the people that have been a part of this operation. Likewise, we thank the staff of the Organization of American States and the General Secretariat, including the Department of Conferences, Meetings and Management, Protocol Division, Press and Communications Department, and our skilled and ever-dedicated interpreters, who probably find it difficult with my heavy Bahamian accent, and the technical support teams, all of whom have worked with precision and care, often behind the scenes and sometimes unappreciated, and they have done this to ensure the success of this assembly. Chair, as we close with gratitude and optimism, we leave this beautiful country with renewed purpose and a deeper sense of collective responsibility to strengthen our organization and serve the peoples of the Americas. I thank you, and I thank the government of Antigua and Barbuda for a wonderful assembly.
Thank you, Chet. Recognize the delegation of Barbados.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I should like to echo the sentiments of my colleague from the Bahamas to thank you, the government of Antigua and Barbuda, for the hospitality and excellent arrangements in place. But I could not leave this session without expressing the gratitude and appreciation of the government of Barbados for the service rendered to the Organization of American States by Paul Spencer. Paul has been a friend and a supporter of Barbados for all of his tenure at the organization. And I certainly had, during my time at the Organization of American States, benefited significantly from Paul's guidance and expertise. And I wish you well, Paul, as you continue in your next chapter. Remember that you have family and friends in Barbados, and we look forward to helping you enjoy this next new phase of your life. Ambassador Nestor Mendez, a former colleague, we served at the Organization of American States at the same time, and I am happy to see that you had a successful tenure during your 10 years in your current position. I wish Ambassador Nestor Mendez all the best in the future. I know that you have big plans, you have many talents, so I'm not wishing you farewell, because I know that you are not going into retirement like Paul. There's a lot more for you to do, a lot more talents for you to put at the service of the hemisphere. So I wish you all the very best. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take the opportunity also to thank the governments of Panama and Dominican Republic We look forward to the next General Assembly in Panama and certainly to the Summit of the Americas in Dominican Republic. We have a very heavy agenda before us, and the opportunity to prepare to address the challenges of the hemisphere are certainly always welcome. I thank you.
Thank you, Barbados. Jamaica.
I would also like to attach Jamaica to the comprehensive vote of thanks that the Bahamas gave to the government and people of Antigua and Barbuda. And I'd also like to express sincere appreciation to Assistant Secretary General Nestor Mendez, whose decade of dedicated service has left an indelible mark on the organization and on the region. For Jamaica, your tenure has been marked by genuine partnership, steadfast commitment, and tangible collaboration. In particular, we recall your most recent official visit to Jamaica in 2023 and meaningful support for higher education and knowledge development in the region. We are especially grateful for your collaboration with the University of the West Indies to establish a scholarship fund that continues to benefit students from Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. As you prepare to close this chapter, we wish you all the very best in your future endeavors and for your personal well-being. As we say in Jamaica, walk good.
Thank you. Panama? No. Okay, Guatemala.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll be very brief. But I would like to pay tribute in Spanish because all of my colleagues were speaking English and Portuguese, and I think that the dedication, professionalism, and above all, I'd like to thank Mr. Mendez for his friendship and always giving us a hand, always being there. We will miss you so much, but we know that you will be much more relaxed in the future at home and spending a lot of time with your family. But this is also your home, and every one of our countries will always receive you, and we hope to stay in touch. Thank you very much for everything, Nestor.
Gracias, Guatemala.
Thank you, Guatemala.
I will now ask the man himself, Ambassador Mendez, for a few words.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. If my voice shakes a little bit, it's because I am filled with emotion. Yesterday, the ambassador of Argentina said that when he was growing up, he was taught that giving thanks was perhaps the most important thing that somebody should know. He said that that's the way he was raised up. I want to tell you that I was also raised like that, and I was taught at home that it is important to give thanks. So I would not want to leave without expressing a word of thanks to, not to everybody, because I cannot list everybody, but everybody is included. So I want to start by thanking the member states for their very kind words yesterday and today. And I also want to express my deepest gratitude for the honor, the opportunity, and the privilege of serving in this capacity as Assistant Secretary General for the last 10 years. During that period of time, which really flew by, it's hard to believe that 10 years have gone by. I looked at some photographs and I realized that in 2015, I still had a full head of hair. And I mentioned that to somebody last night, and I told him, well, you know, this is what happened. And he said, you have made an invaluable contribution. I think that sacrificing your primary cover is indeed a big thing. During this period of time, I have forged a valuable partnership with all delegations, with ministers, with permanent representatives, with alternates, and I value them greatly, and I will always cherish them. I want to thank all of you for your commitment to addressing the issues that are most important for our people, and for the tireless efforts to achieve consensus that allows concrete action on those issues. everybody knows that our OAS is a work in progress, constantly changing and adapting to respond to the needs of our member states. For sure, it is not perfect. Indeed, it is far from perfect. But our organization has responded when called upon to resolve some of the most complex and critical political crises on many occasions. I know, I have seen it, I have been part of it, and it has been an invaluable learning experience. One of the things that has been underscored for me time and again is that we have so much to learn from each other, from our diversity, from our different cultures, from our different realities, and certainly from our different political perspectives. I want to thank the OAS staff. It has been a true honor to be part of a most amazing team. Everybody who joined in preparing this General Assembly last night, I mentioned it in the reception, our people work hours and hours and hours, and if they have to work all night, they do it. And they do it because they are committed, they are responsible, and they believe in what we do, in what they do in the service of the Americas. I want to say a very special thank you to the staff in my executive office, to Ambassador Lacilia Prince, the Chief of Staff, to Carmen Lucia, Francisco, Lainez, Yolande, Kendall, you know all of them, Sandra, and the extended team that does so much work all the time, most of the time behind the scenes. These are hard-working, wonderful people who believe in what they have been doing, and they're committed to the OAS and to the Americas. I also want to say a big thank you to the observers. Thank you for your interest in our organization and your contributions, which go beyond the monetary contributions that are so valuable to our organization. Your presence here fortifies and enriches our diversity. A special thank you to Antigua and Barbuda, to PM Brown, to Foreign Minister, my good friend now, the other Chet Green, the real Chet, Chet Green, and of course to Ambassador Sir Ronald Sanders for hosting this historic General Assembly, which I will always remember as my last one in this post. A very big thank you to Ambassador Liverpool and all of his team. They're a small group, but they're a powerful group, and they're dedicated and they work hard. Thank you so much, Ambassador Liverpool, to you and your people. I want to say also a special thank you to my wife who's joining us today. Her love and support have been a source of strength and comfort to me and our family for decades now. I closed this chapter of my professional life as I started it 10 years ago with a heart full of gratitude for an abundance of blessings and a hopeful look on the future and whatever roads life and the Almighty may lead me to. But everybody knows that once you are OAS, you will always be OAS. This is one family that never abandons you and you never feel out of it. So you can always continue to count on me. May our good Lord bless our organization, and may the Almighty continue to guide and protect all of us and the people of the Americas to whom we serve. Thank you.
Delegates will recall that all you've heard is a part of my final presentation. And so as I wind down, let me also express sincerest gratitude to all delegations for your thoughtful contributions and active participation over the last 3 days. Your commitment to the values of this organization have been essential to the success of this session. In fact, you made my presidency easy. Let us carry forward the spirit of this assembly with unity, responsibility, and renewed purpose, so that together we may continue building a future where peace, democracy, and prosperity are shared realities for all the peoples of the Americas. Before I invite our esteemed Secretary General to take the floor, please join me in extending warmest thanks and appreciation to our volunteers and to the management of our host venue, the AUA, for a most outstanding and commendable assignment done for and on behalf of the government and people of Antigua and Barbuda. Here they are to my left, our volunteers. As Minister of Foreign Affairs of Antigua Barbuda, entrusted with responsibility for hosting this, the 55th General Assembly of the OAS, I give much thanks and appreciation to the entire team at the ministry. And on behalf of the government and people of Antigua Barbuda, led by our Prime Minister Gaston Brown, we say thank you for choosing Antigua and Barbuda. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. And I pray that we are a good host to you over the last 3 days. I now close my presentation, final presentation, and turn the proceedings over to our esteemed Secretary General, Mr. Albert Ramden. GS or SG, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good evening, all distinguished ministers and heads of delegations, of course, our distinguished chairperson, staff of the OAS, Assistant Secretary General Nestor Mendes, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to a close of this 55th regular session of the General Assembly of the Organization of American States, in these beautiful surroundings, the Twin Island state nation of Antigua and Barbuda, we close this General Assembly with a good feeling, because the discussions have been rich, frank, respectful. We have touched in the many speeches you have held, the many presentations on many strategic issues. We all understand the challenges which we face in the hemisphere and the road we still have to follow to a better place in the hemisphere. I want to start by congratulating Antigua and Barbuda for going and doing the utmost to make this General Assembly not only a successful one, but one which was and is well organized, and we have not had glitches of any kind over the past 2 days. That in itself tells a lot about the capability of Antigua and Barbuda, a small Caribbean nation, to host such a large event. And I want to put on record our appreciation to, of course, the Prime Minister of this country, the Honorable Gaston Brown, all those who have, and certainly in the Ministry of Finance, made the resources available. It is a costly exercise, and I want to thank them because it must be coming from somewhere. I want to thank Ambassador Ron Sanders for all the work done in detail in Washington, D.C., but certainly in liaison with his team here in Antigua and Barbuda and St. John's. It's not easy, and all I can say is that you have succeeded to deliver to the organization an excellent 55th General Assembly. The leadership of Minister, our former colleague, friend, Chet Green, has been superb. He is a calm human being and has demonstrated that skill in leadership of this conference. That's what you need. Somebody who can steer the way even under difficult circumstances. So Minister Green, thank you very much. And of course, as you have mentioned, Ambassador Liverpool and your team from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the volunteers, all in purple, thank you very much. We often forget how much is involved in preparation of a General Assembly. This General Assembly did not start 3 months ago. It started immediately after the last one. And it's a preparatory process with politics involved, diplomacy, with logistics, organization skills, finances, and it is extremely detailed. The best General Assembly comes to an end when the preparation has been good. That's the work that is going to carry. So I want to thank also the member states for their commitment, their dedication in making sure that the preparatory process was a good one. Different chairpersons who have led the organization over the past couple of months since last year's General Assembly in Asunción. And I know that the bar has been set high for Panama with this General Assembly. But I'm sure that Panama, having been involved in organization of large conferences and several of these General Assembly, will deliver as well. So we look forward being in Panama City, Ambassador, and we look forward also to an exceptionally well-organized, substantive 56th General Assembly in 2026. I'm very pleased to hear that Colombia has offered to host the 58th General Assembly in 2028. That has a special circumstance, 80 years Organization of American States. That leaves up us only somebody, some country, a country to propose to host 2027. So that's still outstanding. Let us not wait, but offer to host 2027. Substantively, I wanted to say I was very pleased with all the discussions and all the debates which took place from day one in terms of civil society, of dialogue with permanent observers. Those meetings have a value to us, not present here in terms of the formal presentations, but those meetings help us to understand better what lives in the Americas. And I think it's an important matter to continue. I want to acknowledge also the different organs who have presented today their reports. Also, enormously important work that is being done. So I would hope that we all take good recognition of that. Elections are always an exciting moment, and today's elections were not different. It's not even completed. But I want to congratulate those candidates who won, who got their mandate renewed or for the first time. And we always feel that being part of the OAS in whatever capacity is always an honor to serve the Americas. So I wish you all the best in your work as member of different committees and commissions. The staff of the Organization of American States, I don't want to say often forgotten, but often not fully recognized. And they work hard. They work hard, they're capable, and they deliver. As Ambassador Mendes said, even if it is required to work a full 24 hours, they deliver. And what we have been able to do here together is because of their work. In terms of organization, logistics, planning, the equipment, the IT, the documentation which you receive, everything is linked to the staff of the organization. So I want to especially thank them as well. We have said some farewells today, and let me add my voice to wishing all the best to Paul Spencer, whom I know for 25 years. Paul has been all over the organization, and that is meant in a very positive way. He has been in various capacities, with various responsibilities. So if there is somebody who knows to write a book about the OAS in practice, don't tell all the stories, Paul, but tell the right ones, and it will be useful to have your legacy written down, because there are very few who have such a record working in the Organization of American States. So thank you very much. And of course, Ambassador Nestor Mendes, who will take his official farewell is during a special session of the Permanent Council on the 9th of July in Washington, D.C., not so far from now. I have one thing in common with Ambassador Nestor Mendes, maybe two. We have almost the same height. But Ambassador Mendes, you said you lost some hair. I had warned you about this because I lost hair as well after 10 years as ASG. I think there are very few who understand what Nestor is going through today, because I did the same 10 years ago. So I wish you all the best. You have done a remarkable job in terms of serving the organization. It's not easy. Let me say this from my practice. It's not easy. Being responsible for the organization of the main event of the OAS every single year and getting everybody aligned, also on the political side, because the ASG is responsible for the political bodies of the OAS, the Permanent Council, all the committees, and the secretariat that deals with it. It's not an easy job. So losing some hair because of that is understandable, but the rewards are even greater in terms of what you can leave behind. And I think, Ambassador Mendes, you're leaving a lot behind. Your legacy will not be forgotten. Of course, thanks also to Elvira for being part of your immediate team. We will speak to your achievements much more on the 9th of July. Today, I want to thank you as a friend, as a colleague, because we have served both at the OAS, and I'm sure that we will come back to you to benefit from your knowledge in the OAS. So, as Minister Chet Green said, we're ending this General Assembly with renewed hope and also with vision going forward. I want to thank all of you who pledged support to me during this General Assembly. I will come back to you to cash in that commitment, because we alone cannot do it. And I've made that point all the time. We need to work together. We are prepared to listen, but your commitment to make things happen is equally important. Again, I want to thank Minister Everly Chet Green for being our leader over the past 2.5 days, 3 days, and for the warm hospitality from Antigua and Barbuda and its people to all of us. And I'm sure many of you will return to this place. So thank you very much. There is one formality which I have to do, and that is in appreciation to this sterling leadership of Minister Green and honoring Antigua and Barbuda. I have the honor to hand you over, first of all, a gavel. It's not the same one like this, but this one. And I hope you will give it a nice place in your office. Thank you very much, Minister. And then there is this one, which are all the flags of active members of the Organization of American States, also to remember these past days. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mr. SG. Before I move the adjournment of this meeting, allow me to make a small presentation to Assistant SG Mendez on behalf of the people of Antigua and Barbuda. This gift has multiple meanings. It can be interpreted several ways. The one thing is consistent: the flag of Antigua and Barbuda and its warm welcome. We expect you back here soon, sir.
Thank you.
Before I give the floor to Panama, let me, as a final, absolute final word, extend my profoundest appreciation and thanks to my team in Washington, D.C., led by Ambassador Ronald Saunders. They were the backbone of this project. And Ambassador, to you and your team, abiding appreciation and thanks for all the hard work that was put into making this project, the hosting of the 55th Assembly, a success. I thank you. I now give the floor to the delegation of Panama.
Gracias. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. The delegation of Panama would like to take the floor to express its most sincere and deepest appreciation to the government and people of Antigua and Barbuda for hosting with such generosity and warmth the General Assembly of the OAS at its 55th regular session. We value the hospitality and the conditions that allowed for respectful dialogue that characterized this session on the beautiful island of Antigua. This reflects Antigua and Barbuda's commitment to the values that sustain our organization, with the confidence that all delegations share in this gratitude. The delegation of Panama has the honor of presenting draft resolution titled "A Vote of Appreciation for the People and Government of Antigua and Barbuda," which I will read. The General Assembly, considering that the 55th regular session of the General Assembly of the Organization of American States was held on the island of Antigua, part of the state of Antigua and Barbuda, from June 25th to 27th of 2025. Considering further that throughout this session, delegations of member states came together, as well as permanent observers, international organizations, and other relevant stakeholders in a proper environment for frank, constructive, open dialogue, reflecting the warm welcome and the hospitality shown by the people and government of Antigua and Barbuda, resolves First, to express its deepest gratitude to His Excellency Gaston Alfonso Brown, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, and namely the people of Antigua and Barbuda, for their warm hospitality which they showed to participants during the 55th regular session of the General Assembly of the OAS, and secondly, to express its acknowledgement to His Excellency Chet Green, Foreign Affairs Minister, as well as for Commerce and National Affairs of Antigua and Barbuda, for his outstanding work as chair of the 55th regular session of the OAS General Assembly. Thirdly, to express its recognition and gratitude to Ambassador Ronald Sanders, permanent representative of Antigua and Barbuda to the Organization of American States, to the members of the Permanent Mission of Antigua and Barbuda, and the staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Antigua and Barbuda, who with great efficiency, dedication, and professionalism contributed to the successful celebration of the 55th regular session of the General Assembly. Fourthly, to leave a record of this acknowledgement for the work undertaken by the General Secretariat of the Organization of American States, which contributed to the successful organization and holding of the 55th regular session of the General Assembly. Finally, the Republic of Panama proposes to all that this draft resolution be adopted by acclamation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Muchas gracias, Panama.
Thank you so much, Panama.
I hereby declare the proceedings of this, the 55th regular session of the General Assembly of the Organization of American States, adjourned.